Good morning, everyone. How's it going? We've got another embodied contemplation for you to start off your week, and I'm actually really excited about this one. I think it's going to be a little bit more fun and playful than the last ones if you've joined in, and if this is your first time, welcome. I'm Kendra Tanner, and so that you know, you can come and go as you need to, and I will be participating fully present. So if you have any comments, just leave them in, or questions, just leave them in the chat, and I'll come back to them after this is all over. The theme for this week is about taking one step at a time, also known as baby steps, also known as a fancy name of titration in the trauma resolution world. And it's about this idea of really slowing down enough to counteract this idea of too much, too fast, too soon. So too much, too fast, too soon is the speed at which a lot of us are living. A lot of us have always lived that. It's just the pace of life in this day and age. And too much, too fast, too soon can be different for everyone. Too much, too fast for you could be at a different pace than too much, too fast for me. But what happens is when we're living where something is too much, too fast, sooner than what we're ready to handle, is internally, that's where stress comes from. That's where our nervous system gets a little bit dysregulated. We're not able to respond, we're not able to respond from a very grounded place within us because we're being so reactive to the pace of things around us, trying to catch up, keep ourselves safe, maintain that sense of security in a time and a place where the pace of everything is moving quickly. Now, while this is being recorded, we're living in uncertain times where every day there's new information that's coming at us so quickly. The decisions that are being made and that we're having to make for ourselves is also, we're being asked to make those very quickly. And so for many of us, it's going to feel like we're living in a time of too much, too fast, too soon. And perhaps even just now, we'll start to bring your body into this. Just notice how those words land for you. When you hear too much, too fast, too soon, what starts to happen within you? Starting to notice if maybe there is a part of you that wants to move with, respond, maybe, yes, kind of a tension in your arms or in your core somewhere. Maybe there's something in you that's feeling like it needs to respond, to keep up. So what we're going to do today is first take some time to just ground and center ourselves, but then see what it might be like to move in a completely different way to what we normally do, a completely different pace to what's normal, one where we're slowing down enough to be really present to ourselves in our body of what is actually the next right step to take. What is the one baby step, the one step at a time that is most authentic and is coming from a very grounded place within me? We're going to do this very simply. It's not going to require anything other than like standing, sitting, maybe taking a few steps in your space. And again, you can follow along as much as you want to, or you can just listen and be present, or you can journal. There's lots of ways that you can experience this for yourself. There's no right or wrong here. So to start off with, let's just take a moment to take a few breaths and connect to our bodies to our immediate surroundings and just let ourselves be here fully. And so if you are sitting on a chair or on the floor, wherever you are, just taking a moment to feel the ground beneath you. If you want to close your eyes, you can. If you want to keep them open or just have a soft gaze on the floor, whatever's feeling most comfortable for you, that's going to invite in the most amount of stability into this experience. And as your feet are connected to the floor, maybe just wiggling your toes a little bit, maybe sliding your feet around to really feel the imprint and the space where your foot and the floor connects. And if you're seated, you can do the same thing with your sit bones. If you're leaning against something with your spine, just really allow your body to receive the support around you from the chair, from the floor, from gravity. With your next inhale, just seeing if you can really feel the weight of gravity on your body holding you in place. Maybe with an exhale, you can sigh out. Just taking a few breaths here, noticing any sensations that are feeling like a bit of health in you, a bit of wholeness. Perhaps with an inhale, the back of your spine expands a little bit into the chair. Just creating a little bit more space in a place where we so often hold a lot of tension. And just drawing on what we moved through last week of reorienting to health, to wholeness, to beauty, to safety. Just noticing if you can connect with any health, wholeness, beauty, safety, either in your immediate surroundings, within your body. Maybe there's a sound of the birds outside, the sunlight drifting into your room. Or again, even just really feeling and allowing yourself to kind of snuggle into the chair you're sitting on. Beautiful. And from here, we'll start to bring in this idea of one step at a time. One step at a time. Perhaps starting to think about your day ahead of you, what might need to be done, what you might need to do, the phone calls you need to make, the errands. Just thinking of an outcome that you're anticipating or wanting to happen that you have an element of control over. Maybe it's as simple as getting dinner on the table tonight. Just thinking how, when you think of this outcome, where your mind goes. Are you jumping to the final presentation of the meal on the table, or the final pressing send with the email? Or does your mind go towards the process and what it takes to actually cook the meal, write the email? Either one is totally fine. Just knowing where you naturally orient to. Is it the end, or is it somewhere in the middle, somewhere in the beginning? Maybe it's just the first step of sitting down or opening the fridge and taking things out. We'll just leave that scenario, just kind of park it for a minute and come back to it in a bit. And what we'll start to do now is practice what approaching an outcome one step at a time might feel like in your body. So you have a felt sense experience of slowing down, taking baby steps towards an ultimate goal, towards a finished product. And so what I'll invite you to do is to, if you're sitting, stand. If you're standing, sit. If you're in some other posture, basically move from one posture to the next. Now, when you hear that, notice you may have already done it. You may have already stood or sat, or you may be getting ready to. So if you haven't done it already, I'll just invite you to do that. I'm going to stand. And just notice, like, it was probably a quick movement. If you've been sitting for a while, you might have some like energy rushing through your body, a bit of a head rush. I know when I stand up too quickly, I can get lightheaded. So it's just an awareness of what that felt to move like quickly in your body for a very simple movement that we kind of know how to do all the time. What I'm going to ask you to do is return back to where you started from. So if you were sitting, you can return to sit. If you were standing, return to stand. And we're going to try that again, but slowing it down. Slowing down that movement to micro movements within that one big movement to really start to feel and become present to one step at a time and what it feels like to slow down from too much, too fast, too soon. So with this intention of moving, of standing or sitting, and for me it's standing, so I'm going to cue moving from sitting to stand. And you may want to close your eyes for this if it helps you to really be present to the experience of your body. Or you can just focus on something in the room. And remembering from last week, we shared that a lot of times our senses can help cue us. So with this intention of standing, starting to notice which part of your body has the most energy in it. Where is your first instinct to move? So for me, it is putting a little bit more weight on my left foot and tightening the quadricep of my left leg. And so just allowing that small movement to happen. You're not actually rising off your seat yet, but whatever the first micro movement is, just allow that to be there. And then noticing what feels natural next. Now, part of me thinks, oh, well, I need to lean, I need to do the same thing on my right foot. But what I'm noticing is that actually I'd like to support myself and put my hands on the chair to help lift me up, which probably wouldn't have happened if I had been moving really quick. So just allowing yourself, really slowing down, see what is it I'm actually needing right now in this movement. And so maybe you just start to lift yourself a little bit. And then again, checking in, noticing the sensations in your body, noticing what's feeling good, where there might be some tension. And then checking in, okay, what's the movement that I'm needing now? And what I'm noticing is that even though my body is tilting forward, there's a part of me that wants to lean back as well. So I'm going to invite you to do the thing that feels most loving for yourself, that feels like it has the most health and wholeness, where you're not going against the grain of what you're actually needing right now. So for me, that's actually leaning back a little bit into my chair, which is very counterintuitive to the idea of standing up, but that's fine. And then again, just noticing what is present in your body and really just feeling your own pace here. You're not necessarily following me, but feeling intuitively into and instinctually what it is your body is needing at each moment. And so we'll go to the next thing. Whatever posture you're in, what is the next thing that your body is needing in this idea of standing up? And now I'm noticing I actually want to lean forward again with a different arc in my back. And that's feeling a lot more supportive in my lower back. There's equal weight on my legs. And again, asking instinctually, what is it that I'm needing now? And now I can start to rise and stand. And so we really slowed down that process for you to feel into what it's like to get from A to B, but from a place of health and wholeness the whole way. So not bypassing what you're actually needing in each moment. And we can do this really quickly, going the other way, returning to where we were. So right now I'm standing and seeing what would it be like to slow down, take one step at a time as I return to sit. And I'm just going to guide this more meditatively for you so you can practice this again in your body. But just noticing where the most weight in your body is. Noticing what feels most natural in your movement. And just taking a pause and now noticing what sensations are there. Where is there openness in your body? Where is there more closedness? Taking another breath. Noticing what would feel good now. Following that wherever it guides you, even if it's somewhere that you think is not part of the plan. Taking another deep breath and noticing what it is your body is asking for. Allowing for your movement to unfold in a very organic, natural way without rushing or jumping over what is needed in order for you to move with health and wholeness in each moment. And again, taking a deep breath and noticing if there's anything else that needs to happen within your body to complete, to feel like, yeah, I'm finally here. I've gotten to where I need to be. And so whether you're seated right now or standing or somewhere in between, really trusting that you're in the exact place that you need to be, because you've gotten there by listening from within to what each step needs to be. And so this is something I'll offer you to play with during the week. You can play with this purely in your movement, and perhaps as you are just going about your day-to-day, really slowing down and noticing, if I just took one step at a time, where would my instincts lead me? How would my body naturally move? And is there a direction that I would want to go that perhaps wasn't in the way that I thought I was going to be moving? So you can do this in your physical body, and then of course the invitation to extend this into the rest of your life. And so as you're needing to have a conversation, get the chores done, make a phone call, whatever it is, really slowing down to see how you can most authentically respond from that place of health and wholeness to yourself, taking one small step at a time towards the goal. You may find that you just have a little bit more peace inside. Maybe you're a little bit more calmer. You may find that the direction of where you thought you were going to go changes. And while that at first might seem a little unsettling, I would say trust that if by slowing down, the direction changes because you are more attuned to what's going on internally, whether it's in your physical body, in your heart, in your soul, that something else is guiding you towards a different place than what you originally thought you were going to go. I highly invite you to just trust that and be with it, and know that the health and the wholeness coming from a deeper place within is going to sustain you a lot further than rushing and jumping to the final outcome just because that was in the plan. So, one step at a time, baby steps. Hope that was enjoyable. Any questions, comments, you can leave them in the chat below. And we'll see you next week. Lots of love. Bye.